is up, everyone? This is Rebecca, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make healthy homemade sodas with just 4 ingredients. So the ingredients we have, really, I guess you could say it's just 3 ingredients because we're going to be using organic sugar, we've got organic ginger, we've got juice, and we've got water. And besides those ingredients, the other thing you're going to need is you're going to need some flip top bottles like these. I had got these bottles with some drinks in them from like Aldi several years ago, and I just saved the bottles to reuse them, and they work super great. You can also order these off Amazon, or you may be able to find them at some of your local stores, but you definitely want these for making sodas because it's going to build up the gases in there, and it's going to make it a little bit more carbonated. You could try doing it in like maybe a mason jar with a tight fitting lid, but you're just not going to get the amount of carbonation you would. So these aren't too terribly expensive usually, so you can just invest in a few of these and reuse them over and over again. So this is a cultured fermented drink, and to get started you're going to need to make your culture here. So to get started you're going to need to make a ginger bug, and it's going to be fermented, so this is going to take several days for it to ferment. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a jar like this. So you're going to take 1.5 cups of water, and you're going to fill your jar up with that. And then you're just going to take 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1 tablespoon of ginger. It's recommended to get organic ginger. Now I did start this with just regular ginger because I could not find the organic, but then I did find some organic at Sam's, so it can work without it, but it is best if you can use organic ginger. And also organic sugar if you have it, because a lot of times they use like chlorine and stuff in sugar, and in any type of ferments you don't want any chlorine because it can prevent it from fermenting. Same with your water, you want to make sure you have some filtered water that doesn't have any type of chlorine in it. So like I said, you're just going to put 1.5 cups of water in your jar, and then you're going to put 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1 tablespoon of sliced or grated ginger, and you're going to do that every single day. You're going to add, not water, but you're going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of ginger, and after about 5 days or so, you're going to see that it's going to start bubbling real good. I have been moving this around a lot, so I don't know if you can see, it's not really bubbling right now, but a lot of times after it's set and you bump it or move it a little bit, you'll see a lot of bubbles coming up from the top, and you can see it's got this white yeasty stuff in here, and it's going to have a nice yeasty pleasant smell, kind of sweet, kind of yeasty. It's going to smell really good. So after about 5 days, your bug is going to be ready, and then you're going to make your sodas. And all you're going to do is you're going to mix your sodas. You're going to mix, I do about 1/4 cup, 3 or 4 tablespoons in each of these bottles, and then I fill the rest up with juice. And so I think it's recommended about 1/2 cup per 8 cups of juice. So you just, depending on the size of your bottles. And then you're going to let this sit and ferment for a couple days. You want to check it every day because if your kitchen's really hot, it can ferment really quickly. If your kitchen is not very hot, it's going to take a little bit longer. These bottles can explode. So I've heard that. I've never had it happen, and if you leave them too long, you're going to have soda spewing out everywhere. I'm going to show you how I mixed all these up 2 days ago, and then we're going to open these up, and we're going to see if they're ready. So I've got my ginger bug here, and I'm just going to strain out some of the liquid. I'm going to use about 1 cup or so for these 4 bottles here. So I'll be putting about 1/4 cup or so in each bottle, and then I'm going to be using some black cherry plum juice, and I just get this from Aldi, and 1/2 gallon of juice, 64 ounces here, will fill up 3 bottles really good. I fill my bottles up until it just starts to get to that narrow part there, and that seems to work really good. Now this black cherry juice, and then sometimes I use grape juice, tends to ferment fairly quickly, so you want to check it once or twice a day, and just to make sure it's not over fermenting. So we're going to close up those bottles there, and then on this last bottle I'm going to do an apple cider one. So just to give it a little extra flavor, I'm just going to put in a couple of cinnamon sticks and a couple things of clove. You don't have to do this, it's just kind of fun, just gives it a little bit of extra flavor. It's fall here, and so it's fun to have some of these kind of fall flavored drinks. So now this apple cider has been in the refrigerator, and I think it would have been better if I would have maybe just like pulled some out earlier and let it sit out and come to room temp, because I've noticed that when the juice is cold, it just takes it a lot longer to ferment, and it doesn't do as well. So you might just want to think about that when you're making these. So now that we've got our sodas made, we're just going to refeed our ginger bug. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of sliced ginger, and then you can see there's not a lot of liquid left in here, and so I'm just going to go ahead and pour some water over that. And this is kind of one of those things, you just kind of do it by feel. It's kind of like when you're doing a sourdough starter and you just kind of get used to filling it, and it doesn't, the measurements don't matter as much anymore. I still do always 1 tablespoon of ginger, 1 tablespoon of sugar, but it's like sometimes I need to go ahead and take some of the ginger out because it's getting too full. So you can kind of remove half that. You can put in extra water when you need to. And then we're just going to let it sit, and you just feed that every day, or if you're not wanting to feed your starter for a while, you can put it in the fridge. I like to put my bottles out here on the counter where I see them so I can remember to check them and burp them, and then once they get carbonated enough for you, you can drink them or just put them in the fridge so they'll ferment a little bit slower. Alright, so now that I've shown you how to make them, we're going to check these to see how well they fermented. I did these Thursday night, and it is now Saturday morning. So as you can see, that one did super well. It's fizzing everywhere. I probably should have put that in the fridge last night. And this is the apple cider one, so we're going to check it. And it has not fermented hardly at all, so I'm going to let it sit out for a few more days. It was cold when I made it in here, so it may take it a few more days. And then this one I actually had already checked earlier. So this probably would have been ready the night before and it wouldn't have spewed so much, but it would be a good idea to open these over your sink just so it doesn't make a mess like this. And that's why it's good to check them a couple times a day. And I could have checked it last night and then stuck it in the fridge and it would be good to go for today. But you can see how nice and fizzy they get. My kids love these. It's super delicious. It's really healthy, and so it's just really a fun experiment to try at home. So I hope you try it, and I will put some more information in the description below. Thanks so much for watching.